It's just a really cool game that I'd been meaning to play for a really long time, and I finally got around to playing it like a month ago, just off stream, and I was like, okay, this is great. This is really cool. Starts off kind of sad though. We're clearly, I'm guessing that's maybe our father? Maybe? Oh, and I think this is gonna go faster than the first time I played it because it's a lot easier with a controller. And I was playing it with a keyboard and mouse. Hello? It's a puzzle game. It's like a side-scrolling puzzle game, but it's just very vibey and atmospheric. And cool. Hopefully I remember all the puzzles. I may not. We'll see. Oh, we must take our vitamin. There's stuff that I want to get from there, though. I assume that was our house, and maybe that was our dad that had passed away or something. I think the premise of the game is that we are in... I'm not going to go back for all that stuff, I don't think. We are in sort of a post-apocalyptic world. It is kind of framey for you guys. It's not awful, but it isn't as smooth for you as what I'm looking at. So this is our little ship that we are going to traverse the wastes with. And I'm going to put that right there. Okay. And to go, we push this in. Oh, but we need energy first. It is so much easier with the controller. With the keyboard. Oh, let me... That's really loud for you guys. Away we go. Also, the music is just, like, lovely. It's so pretty. Oh, vitamin. This is one of those games that goes on sale pretty frequently too. You could probably find it for cheap on Steam. It was 20 bucks on PlayStation, but I'm happy to buy a second copy of it because I liked it. Is it loud? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hi, Devastat. I don't know anything about the studio who made this either. Oh shit. Oh wait, I forgot how to stop the, oh. There we go. Or stop the vehicle! I gotta pick up, trash is basically like your fuel source. Hi, platypus! Ooh, what's your little heart? Gold pixel heart? What is that? What does that mean? Oh, it's a charity thing. Oh, that's cool. Hang on, I'm getting my vitamin. For the children! That's so cool. Usually first on Fridays because that's PTF. That's the day for some tomfoolery. Okay. Does the game look okay? Is it framey at all? Are you guys seeing any graphic issues? Not framey. Cool. It just looks kind of framey in OBS. Let's go ahead and put that here. So to explain what I'm doing, I think the game does a pretty decent job of teaching you. But you know, I came into this having already played it. So you pick up trash in the waste, and then you incinerate that trash for fuel, for energy, which fills up this thing over here. I don't think you necessarily have to put the trash on hooks, but I do for safety reasons. I don't know. This is a water thing. Stuff will catch on fire at some point. If you don't pay attention to your steam meter, if you don't let off steam, stuff will catch on fire. And then this is the go button. This is the stop button. And then the button in the front is to open up my, open up that ramp. And eventually we'll get a sail as well. And we get some other tools later later on down the line as well. Congratulations, Nathan. Hell yeah. You can do it. I don't know what you would call this vehicle. It's not a boat. I guess it's kind of a car. Oh, we could have moved a little bit further. Oh well. Am I gonna have to go all the way under? I never got to a point where I felt like I was running out of trash the first time I played it, but I still am going to pick up every trash that I find. I don't know what happens if you run out. I don't know if you get like a game over or something. The ergonomics? What do you mean? There's a lot of running around, but she's got to stay fit, you know? It's the apocalypse. Oh. I can get rid of this lamp too, but I'm not going to get rid of this because there's an achievement involving the mailbox if you bring it the entire way. And blunt head drum, yes. It's like, it's a vessel, I don't know. Actually, I'm going to put it over here. The old concuss mobile. What I liked so much about this game, though, I know it's over here. I just can't see it. There we go. Is you kind of develop this attachment, at least I did. Maybe I'm just weird. To your vehicle because it's your only means of survival. Actually, hang on. Of getting to like safety or like a new life or something. Okay. It sounds like a beat up Oldsmobile or something. Oh my god, more garbage. Except if I stop, I start going backwards. I think there's like a way to make that not happen. Maybe? Oh, shit. Oh, just pressing the button is fine. If you just come to a natural stop, I think you'll start rolling backwards. God, I've got all kinds of garbage. Fuel for days. I don't know what our little character's name. There's no dialogue. There's no text. But that doesn't bother me. Actually, let's put the gas can up here. I think this game came out in like 2018. It's not recent. Away we go. Come on, Bessie. You can do it. I know it's a hill. I know. It's a big old hill. Goodness gracious. The color palette is so cool too. The, like monochromatic thing we've got going on. Whoop. Let me through. I'm stuck. We're really trucking now. When we get the sail, we pick up some major speed. I think I'm gonna stop for that too. Hello? Gotta clean up all the rubbish. I don't think there's an achievement for getting all of the trash. If there was, I would have had to get the trash in the house at the very beginning of the game. I don't think there is. It is recent, that's true. In the grand scheme of things, in the time, death, length of the universe, it's pretty recent. It wasn't a pain to play with keyboard and mouse. Really? But boy howdy is it easier with a controller. Oh. Hello? Give me a second. Do I not? Oh, I need energy. That's right. Energy is water, is fuel, is everything. Nobody panic. Okay. I gotta go up. For most things, I prefer controller too. Unless it's a shooter, unless it's like a first-person shooter, then I definitely prefer keyboard and mouse. Which is kind of why I'm saving Cyberpunk and Starfield. And those kinds of games for when I upgrade my computer. Oh, this is our sail. Sick. Oh, do you want me to hold it down? Okay. Hot dang. we go. Now we're really cooking. Yeah, I don't really play games like outside of my desk setup. I have a PlayStation 4 in my room, my bedroom, but I don't really play anything on it. I also just don't have a whole lot of free time outside of working and streaming my games off stream. Sometimes I do. But that is not usually the case. Oh. We must sacrifice the ball! Boy, now we're really moving. We're really moving. It zooms out too when you come up here. Love it. Oh, this is the wrong one. Right. Oh, I'm gonna get the thing too. Dang, it's a lot easier to take screenshots on PC. Oh well. Can I do it this way? No. Oh, excuse me, pardon me, so sorry. Oh, bonk. It's cool, it's fine. Oh, do I not? I get a repair module too. I must get it here. Is probably. Okay. Yeah, there's a button dedicated solely for sharing and taking screenshots here too, but it makes the game pause at the same time. I'm gonna go pick up that rubbish in the front. My wheel's spinning. Someone's luggage. We'll never know. Isn't that a giant ship in the background? Sometimes TikTok likes to show me videos of like big waves and giant ships on big waves and big waves crashing into I think I gotta go above like power stations and stuff, and I wish it wouldn't. I don't have thalassophobia. Like I'm not super bothered. Is this where I'm supposed to go? I don't know that this is where I'm supposed to go. But it's still not like a fun thing to watch. Oh. I'm just the fool sometimes. More garbage. Yeah, I mean, you know, put me in a tight or uncomfortable space for long enough, and yeah, I'm probably gonna get uncomfortable, like most people. Oh, it's a little bell. That's cute. It doesn't want to ding 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 anymore. I wonder if I put it on Bessie. I'm just gonna call it Bessie instead of my vehicle or my vessel. It's Bessie. I wonder if the bell will ding when I start to move. Okay. What does this do? Whoomp. Whoa. Oh, I still don't have the repair module. Isn't that what I needed? I guess I don't need it if I've got my sail. Away we go. Yeah, I can't use that. We're gonna have to rely on sail power. Get out of here! Strings is memeing on the TikTok. You're a clock person. What does it mean? I just really dig the art style of this game. It reminds me a lot of why I took to Fallout 3. So, what would be the correct adjective? So much, so profusely. Is I remember emerging from the vault and looking out at the wasteland, and that score that plays at the beginning, and then you just get wind and silence, and truly feeling like immersed and like I was on my own, and like I was in this post-apocalyptic world, and survival was the name of the game. And this game gives me the same sort of isolation. It's not like a scary isolation though. It's almost like a peaceful and also like super immersive sense of isolation. It's just good stuff. And maybe that's why I enjoyed this game so much too, is it's the same sort of vibes. Wait, I just got all kinds of garbage now. I guess we'll just put this right here. Plenty of garbage. Okay. Surely this is the repair module. Maybe? I think we might be making our way across the ocean currently. Oh, you need fuel. With all these big ships? Or no, this isn't gonna be the repair module. Let me out, let me out. It's just a bridge. I wonder if my... Oh, it looks like it is. Okay, good. Whoa! I'm just making a ruckus. I like that I float because of my little dress. How am I supposed to move if my steam button is broken? I can't get through it like this. Oh, shit. Keep going, Bessie. I thought I got the repair module, like, much sooner? Wouldn't it be just my luck to play this game a second time on stream and to break it by accident. I don't think I can do this yet. Keep going. Oh, and now I've broken that too. Alright, good. Well, that's a problem. Is that the repair module that I'm looking at? No. I don't think it is, at least. Bonk. Bonk. Hang on 1 second. That's not it. That's not it. I wonder, because I don't feel like the accelerator was supposed to break this quickly. Oh, where am I? It does not want me to go that far. Okay. Oh, I think I'm invisible now. Oh, there I am. No. I was just on the other side of the screen. Yeah, it doesn't want me to go any further. What is with my luck? Wait. Oh, I think I can pull it across. We're gonna have to resort to this. We're gonna have to pull the vehicle all the way across the wastelands. How I'm able to pull a vehicle this large, I don't know. I went and I borked my sails too, so now I can't even deploy those. I need the repair thing. I don't know when that shows up though. I think it shows up soon. I hope it shows up soon. Otherwise we're walking. It looks like she's struggling. Come on, Bessie. I know I can break through that gate, but can I as a person break through that gate? Feels like maybe no. Come on. Come on. Come on. Brilliant. Surely. Oh, it still kind of works. It's borked, but it's kind of working. Huh. Weird. Maybe the developers figured out that there was an issue with it working too fast before we get the repair module. Maybe they were like, this is an issue. Uh-oh. We must get all the trash. I think that's a pizza box. At least it looks like a pizza box. No, I promise. You have to go actually, because otherwise we can't move. Alright, we're really cooking with oil now. Feels dangerous to be this close to you know, something that is electrified, but what do I know? I'm just a little goyle. Oh, I see. When I come to a stop, it like puts down a little foot brake underneath the vehicle. Underneath Bessie. Oh my god, look at all this garbage. And stop. Ooh, it's getting blustery. It's getting dark, it's getting spooky. Oh, it's getting real dark. I didn't mean to do that. I don't even know what that is. It's rolling around too much is what it's doing. Okay, we've got so much fuel, it's obscene. It's ridiculous. Whoa! Is that a bathtub? If it weren't for the wind, it would be really pleasant. Oh, I'm out of stuff. Pardon me. I don't think that'll give us enough. Here, take a pizza box. And someone's old luggage. Oh, and there's garbage coming up. Actually, stop. Stop. Stop the vehicle. These give you like quite a bit of juice too. The gasoline canisters, they give you like a full tank's worth of juice. Surely we're gonna get a repair module soon. Right? Of juice. Or excuse me, in this game it's called energy. But it also works as like a fire? A way to put a fire out? So... Oh, Jesus! So I don't know. Could be water, could be juice, could be uranium. Thank you, Boston. Okay, continue onward. I was gonna say, what did you think I said? I mean, it's an unknown liquid, so could be anything. God damn it. Oh, there's more garbage. Put that there. Gotta pick up the garbage. I think I'm being much more diligent about the garbage that I'm picking up this time around. And therefore I've got, like, a ton. Maybe too much. Look at the stars! So pretty! Just us and Bessie. And the open road. There's a game coming out in, I believe, February. There's multiple games coming out in February that I am stoked for. One of them I had a dream about and I can't get out of my head. And I need it now, but it doesn't come out until February. And it's called, and I don't know why. I mean, it's not, like, there are several things that you can put into the recipe of a video game that will make me want it unequivocally. And this is not one of those kinds of games. It's not something I would immediately be like, oh, that's entirely my shit. But I played the demo and it was exactly what I was hoping for. Or dreamt about and then could not get out of my head. And it's called Flock. It's like a creature collecting simulator kind of thing. And for some reason, it's exactly what my brain wants right now. I don't know why. And then, what's the other one that comes out in February? Now I've gone and I've forgotten what it is. Oh, Pacific Drive. It's like a driving simulator. Where you drive your car around in the Pacific. Oh, this is the repair module. You drive your car around in the Pacific Northwest, and I think we have to repair this thing. But, like, something has gone terribly wrong in the Pacific Northwest, and you have to, like, customize your car and outfit it so it is able to move long distances and, like, survive the journey and stuff. Oh god, I feel like I need to drop down and put the brakes on. Put the brakes on! There we go. And that looks like entirely my shit. Like, it's vibey, it's atmospheric, it looks like it's really pretty. It's kind of got some spooky traits to it. That and Flock, for some reason, are just can't get out of my head. Okay, now we have our repair module. I've got too much garbage. Hello? So much to repair. It's been a perilous journey. And you know, I thought the Elden Ring DLC was also gonna come out in February, but I guess I'm just a fool with everyone else. Although, hopefully that means because they haven't said anything about the Elden Ring DLC that hopefully that means it is a beast of a DLC, an absolute monster. That there's just so much content. I got a little light. I'm gonna put the light up here. Oh, I got it. Good. I do have a lot of junk. I'm gonna put you next. No. That's not what I meant to do. God damn it. Well, we've got the room. Okay, away we go. I still haven't even played the latest God of War. Do we have any wind right now? We do not, so it wouldn't be worth it to put up the sail. See, it's times like these when the game feels like somewhat meditative with the stars, and it's like quiet and the pretty music in the background. That's a good shit. Where's my water? Whoop. I think I've got, yeah, I do have another thing of gasoline that I'm gonna get rid of up here. Oh god damn it, there's an ad starting. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna stop here anyway. For the garbage, and we'll stop for the ad as well. Okay, while the ad runs, I'm going to stand here and we can stare at the beautiful stars and I will be right back, okay? Okay. Did that do the trick? I needed something peaceful, so I was like, well, no piano songs were coming to mind, but I was like, you know, Skyrim always does the trick. At least in my opinion. Am I unmuted? Are we good? We're good. Okay. Away we go. Oh, wait. Nope, I changed my mind. Sorry, Bessie. So dark. I do want to put this, I guess, like right here. I've got so much. So much fuel. Too much. I think stuff should be safe there. Am I gonna run into something? Yep. Bonk. Okay. Let's go up top. Oh, I think I remember what this is. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This part. We got radio. It's like smooth jazz too. Elevator music. It's perfect though. At least I think it's great for the vibes. I'm gonna put it up here in my bedroom. Go on. There. You can incinerate the radio. However, I won't be doing that. Hi, Black Wolf. Oh my goodness. You want that stream streak? Thank you. I think that's one of the more brilliant things that Twitch has introduced is the stream streaks. Because that's like such a good way, like a tangible way of thanking people who show up. Time and time again. Do you like the music? I like the music too. I have nothing against smooth jazz elevator music. I am alright. Black Wolf, I hope you're well too. If I missed any garbage, I haven't seen any gone by. Oh, we lost our radio. It comes back later, I do believe. Oh, I've got a sail. And we're really gonna pick up some speed. Oh, and it's the sun is coming up. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I gotta feed the machine. Let's go up top. Oh yeah, that's good. No, there aren't any threats. I mean, aside from the weather. There are no bad guys in this game. We're one of the few people left on Earth, I believe, so it's more of a solitary experience. God, that's so pretty. I don't think the steam gauge goes up if you're up top. Oh, there's cows? Or I guess those would be buffalo? They're like water buffalo? They're not bison. A different kind of buffalo. Yeah. And you going up in flames. That's the one threat. Oh, shit. Really cooking with oil now. Oh, I hope no one cared about that fence. I think we're gonna be coming to a stop here again soon. Bonk. What happened? Oh. Our little feeder is broke. Nope. Hi, Scoot. Okay, let go of that. And then we're here. I don't think I'm getting any upgrades here. We just gotta unlock the door. Okay, let's go. I'm sorry you've been feeling down. Thanks for coming by, though. Hopefully a good night's rest will help things. Oh, we're going up. We're going up. Whoa. Oh, there's the radio. Hi, Jay. Okay. Gotta pick up the garbage. Oh, this one's books. Not the one I'm carrying, but there is books. I'm gonna keep the books. I'm keeping all useful stuff. I think I'm gonna put this little light. No, I'll keep the light. It really is like a hoarding simulator. I'm keeping the books too, for sure. Okay. Next, you stay over there. I believe we have to attach this to there. Oh. Hi, Scoot. Hope you feel better. Yeah, well, I just kind of moved some of the stationary emotes into Twitch's, like, default animations. There is one that I want to get made and animated all by the same person. I'm having at least make a couple more as well. A couple more poots. Do you guys want to know what they are? Or should I keep it a secret until she sends them to me? Do you want to know? Should I put up a thing? Hi, Rune. Poll. New poll. You want no new emote? No surprise. Oh my god. My R button is like still very broke and even more broke than before. Okay, vote in the poll. If the consensus is that you want to know what the new ones are, then I will tell you. And that's aside from the ones that you already see. The Sick Tide, the Good Vibes, the First Try, those were all made by Moi. And I reworked the First Try emote. And then I added some of the stationary emotes to the animated ones. Even though the sad one doesn't work. For some reason there's like a black box that pops in and out and I don't know how to fix it. It's not from the original, it's not from the emote itself, it's like on Twitch's side. I don't know. Anyway, I've got 5 more emotes. Yeah, I've got 5 more coming from Elise. And then I'll have 3 more after that to get from someone else because she doesn't do animated stuff. Emotes. Then I've got that one, and that one. 3 more after Elise is done with hers. That's what's on the agenda. Okay, now we push the button. No, I have to jump on the thing. There we go. Keep going, keep going. Why can't I see the results? Okay, are we there? Get on there. This thing is great. It sucks up trash for us. And then I don't have to do anything. So we're gonna go turn that on immediately. And away we go. Efficiency. Yeah. I figured I would play something a little bit different that's short in between the Souls games for a change of pace. Oh, we got wind too. We're really gonna pick things up now. There we go. And we're going downhill. We should really be moving quick here. All right. Keep going. Oh, I'm out of stuff. Hang on. 2 boxes. There you are. I think that flammable box, I think that makes things explode. Wouldn't you know it? So there's a little bit of trade-off with using it. Oh, we're gonna break our thing here. I'm gonna go if I can beat it. Nope. What's borked? Oh, that is. Okay. You keep going while I go fix the sails. Is the sucker still working? I can't tell. Are we winning? We're winning. I think. There isn't really winning in this game. It's just experiencing. Is the sucker on? It doesn't seem like it's on. No, it wasn't. Stinker. Should probably queue up. I think 3 of these makes like 1 full thing of fuel. Oh, I don't want to get rid of the books. Oh shoot. What? I'm so deeply into the music in this video game. Oh, that was enough for a full thing. Alright, the books I'm keeping. Unless we get real desperate. Okay, our sucker's still on. We're good. We're good. Hello, Lycan. Strings pulled a Lycan earlier, and I was talking about how I needed more juice, more energy for my vehicle here, and he thought I said jizz. So, you know. Someone's got to carry the torch. Jizz? Is our sucker working? It is. Wait, I can get a chair. An extra chair. Do I want a chair? I don't know. Feels like maybe I should keep the chair. You know, you never know when you gotta sit down. Oh, I think we're coming to a stop here soon anyway. Bonk. Yep. Okay. Oh, what's not functioning now? Keep the chair. And concussions. What do I need to repair? Oh, the engine. The engine. Or, well, the button that powers the engine. It's not really the engine, I guess. Leave the sucker on. I think it uses up energy if I leave it on, but that's okay. Where are we going? We're going up top. Is it using up energy? I can't tell. If it is, it's a very minuscule amount. No! Do I want to bring this? No, I'm gonna drop it in here. Bonk. Stop it! Stop it! Is this a flower pot? What's a flower? I'm keeping that too. Just hoarding all kinds of stuff. Everyone's 3 streams streaking. Does it reset after a week? Thank you. You know, they had to have known this when they introduced this update, right? By calling it a streak, everyone's gonna refer to it as streaking as in the nude way of streaking. We're gonna have to come up with an alert of someone streaking across the stream for that. What is this? Oh, I remember. Do I remember? Yes, I do. Okay, we have to get We have to get the opening to the right spot again to get back down, because I can't get back down right now. On a... Rune's got everyone beat. A 7? Oh, you guys do want to know the new emotes? Okay. Okay, I'll tell you the new emotes then. Hang on one second. We gotta get back to our ship. We're losing our ship? We're losing Bessie! Bessie! Where'd you go? Oh god. Oh, it's a fucking tornado. I forgot about this part. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh! This is the worst. I fucking hate tornadoes. I don't even live someplace that gets tornadoes regularly, but you could not pay me. You simply could not pay me to live in Tornado Alley. We gotta go, 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 we gotta go. No! Oh my god. Juice it! I think we're gonna miss it. That is the worst. That's actually the worst right there. Get me out of here. I think I just took out that bridge. No, I would like to go up, please. Thank you. Okay. They didn't give you get extra points for streaking? Hmm. 42! Wait, what'd we get 42 for? Have I demolished 42 things or something? I imagine that's what it is. No! I've been sending Dan angry emails for months now about getting VIP number 2, and he just isn't listening. He just doesn't care about his people. The old chips, candy, soda meme. I've been there many a time. Okay. I think I'm just gonna float on down here. Just kidding, I can't. What is this button? Nobody knows. $132? Oh my god. I thought we did have a gamble machine. Maybe we don't. Is this gonna crush me? Oh. Here we go. So you voted that you wanted to know what the new emotes are. So I'm going to tell you. So if for some reason you absolutely don't want to be spoiled on what the new emotes that are coming are going to be, then plug your ears for the next, I don't know, 10 minutes. So I've got, you know that cat meme? Let me see if I can find a link for it. Oh god, we're going into the sludge. Oh no. You know that cat meme? That's like, where it's like yelling? With a really big mouth? Popcat. It's called Popcat. We're getting that, but it's Shasta instead of that cat, and it's like the pixelated version. Basically, like this version of her, but with the yelling instead. So we're getting that, and then what else are we getting? We're getting an angry poot, just a default angry poot, and we're getting a sleepy poot with like Z's and stuff, and then we're getting a poot with like. Here, I'm just gonna put all of the emotes, all of these emotes in poot form, basically. Where are the, no, not that one. Where are the default emotes? Just default, please? Can I do it this way? There we go. Okay, so one of these, one of these, one of these, and then I know there's one more. Oh, and a bowl of spaghetti. Like, similar to our tea emote. Like, in the similar pixel style, but it's a bowl of spaghetti instead. So that's what Elise is working on. And then after that, I'm going to, when she's done... Okay, I'm glad you're happy about the bowl of pasta. It was requested to get a video of Shasta meowing. However, she's quiet. She doesn't meow a lot. And when she does meow, it's always unexpected. So if I can ever make that happen, I will. But for now, we're getting the Popcat emote in place of that, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to get her on video meowing. But then the other one that I'm going to have commissioned by someone else, which if you know of someone who does pixel art emotes that you like, that you've seen in another channel or something, if you know of an artist, let me know, because I have like 2 people on my list right now, but I don't know if they do animated stuff. I'm gonna have someone do an animated like atom bomb cloud with, I hope I described this right. So like in the background there's like an atom bomb cloud exploding, and then like it from like in a Looney Tunes way from the background, and then zooming forward towards us will be like Atom and then cats like separately. Does that make sense? It'll be like Atom zoom in so you can see the word, and then that'll go away, and then it'll be cats zoom in so you can see the word. Does that make sense? With like an atomic bomb going off in the background. And that'll be our little sub hype emote. And then I'm gonna move the Vault Girl and the Shasta emotes from tier 2 and tier 3 to the tier 1 emotes, and to replace them I'm gonna have someone do a pixelated version of Lady Maria from Bloodborne and a pixelated version of Millennia from Elden Ring to replace them in tier 2 and tier 3. Does that sound good? That's what we're doing. Oh, and I don't know if I showed you guys earlier because he hasn't been summoned recently. I put a chef's hat on Tony. Do you like it? He's a chef. He needs a chef hat, huh? There's his little hat. Tony! Get back to work, Tony. And then in the future, should Twitch decide to open up even more emotes, I'm gonna make like, I think I can do this, but I'm gonna make like a muted symbol, like a volume symbol with a line going through it, so you guys can tell me when I'm muted. And then I'm thinking about getting a poot made that's like thinking or has a monocle on it, like a thinking emote. And then somehow I want to encapsulate me reading over my spreadsheet in emote form. And I don't know what that may look like, but I would like to have something like that done. So that may happen in the future. If Twitch gets crazy again and gives me... They gave me, let's see, 5 more animated slots. Well, they gave everyone, not just me. This was their new update. And then 2 more slots if you use their Twitch alerts, which I do. Or will. I have alerts made, I just have to, like, put them... I just have to finish migrating them over. And then... Oh, it does use energy to use this sucker. Interesting. And then 1 more standard emote. So altogether 8 new emote slots. Just wild. Yeah, that's what I thought happened every time you used one of those gas cans. They seem a little bit flammable. They seem a little bit wild. I was just sitting here, like, draining my energy. Chit-chatting about emotes. Okay. That's on the agenda! I love prosciutto, too. Thank you, Lakin. With the ace flag. Wait, is that the ace flag? Yes. Very cool. Are we stuck? What happened? Why are we stuck? Oh my... Hello? My wheel isn't working. Now, I remember that the wheel is definitely supposed to break, but I don't remember how we end up fixing it. Hi, Nerdless? Thank you so much for the raid. Hello, raiders. How's it going? Thank you so much for coming by. We're playing a cute little indie game. It's called Far Lone Sails. Oh yeah, that's right. We just have to yoink it. It's a short, beautiful little experience that I decided to check out. Oh, you're playing Dave the Diver. That's on my list too. In between, I decided to check this out in between Souls-like games that I've kind of been making my way through. But highly recommend. It's lovely, it's atmospheric, it's vibey. For the same reasons, I'm interested in playing Dave the Diver. How was your stream? The nerds have arrived. Oh, you've played this game? Yeah, it's great. I played it for the first time like a couple weeks ago. And then I was like, hell, that was really good. I'm just gonna play that on the stream. Do I have to like push a button? Or something? I'm attached. What's going on? What's going on? Thank you, CS. Welcome back for 76 months. Jesus. That's a really long time. Thank you, CS. Oh, do I just have to continually press the button? Hold the button down. Thank you for lurking and thank you so much for the raid. It is beautiful, this video game. Most of the time, I'm just not about it. Did we make it? Did we arrive? Am I out of the ick? Whoa, 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 whoa! No drifting back. Hey. None of that. Put the brakes on. Yeah, I'm excited about Dave the Diver too. Eventually, I will get to it. I have so many video games to play in so little time. I also want to replay Dredge. I want to replay Death's Door. I own Tunic and I've yet to play it, which is wild. There are all kinds of like indie Souls-like games that I have planned to play. What a time to be a gamer. It still is, it's weird that Nexon was nominated in the indie game category for the Game Awards still, but that's not really their fault. Like, you know, the people who did the nominations should have known better. Even though they did kind of market the game that way, still. You would think the people behind the nominations, hello? Oh. Would be wise enough to be like, this isn't actually an indie game, but nice try. We're gonna put you in a different category. But no. I also saw that they did the crossover with Dredge, which was really, really cool. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, the controversy shouldn't have ever happened. It wouldn't have happened if the Goofball Video Game Awards people that were in charge of the nominees put it in the proper category. Then, like, it seems like it's a really good game. The dingbats just put it in the wrong category. Maybe no one was paying attention. No one caught anything. Oh. Oh, I gotta turn this sucker. Why does the sucker keep turning back off? Unacceptable. Oh, and I'm gonna play the sequel to this, too. At some point. We gotta fix these wheels. I think I'm gonna grab stuff from the front. I kinda don't want to grab the bell because it's cute. What's funny is even though they definitely aren't like an indie game developer, I have never heard of Nexon up until Dave the Diver. Oh, radio's coming back on. Here we are, we've arrived. I should probably turn this sucker off if it does use up juice. But I'm gonna forget to turn it back on. Yeah, Cyberpunk was a weird choice for ongoing game too, because it's like shouldn't have that would make games like, you know, No Man's Sky or Starfield in the runner for ongoing game too. It's just games that got off to a bad start and we're giving a redemption with updates and stuff. Oh, No Man's Sky did win it before. Okay. Well, alright. Do you think Starfield is going to be nominated for it at some point? Did I miss my... Stop? I think I did. Did Fallout 76 ever get nominated for that? Where am I trying to go? Where are we going? Yeah, No Man's Sky, I guess, does make a lot more sense. But Cyberpunk is not a pseudo-MMO, like, at all. What are we looking for here? I've played this video game, and yet I do not remember where we're supposed to go. I think it will, to be honest. Oops, why are we going backwards? Hey. Hey, why are we going backwards? Who took the brake off? Oh, it probably happened when I pressed that button. You know, I can see Starfield having a No Man's Sky moment where they add a bunch of updates and quality of life type stuff and it gets better. Did it let me go this far? Oh yeah, it did. Sometimes I'm just a dingbat. Sometimes I'm just a goofball. We build our future. Hot and sour soup packets from Walmart in the International. Oh, is it? That's good to know. You know what I'm always craving? What I could always be down for? Egg drop soup. But it seems like there's never enough eggs. Like, I love egg drop soup, but the limit to the amount of eggs that you should put in it does not exist. Like, put 10 eggs in there. Arteries who? Oh, are we getting in there? Hang on. Away we go. All of the eggs. Make it scrambled egg soup. There you go. Was that it? Is it open? Oh. Okay, remember, we gotta put the sucker on. Can't leave without our sucker. I think we're gonna run into another wall here soon. Ooh, I love miso too. Good picks. Oh shit. We need more juice. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me. So sorry. So this thing can knock over giant propellers, walls, and other formidable obstacles, and yet I, a tiny little being, am also capable of pulling it. Slowly, but still able to pull it. You know what? It's gotta be the bearings. It's gotta be that these wheels are like super well oiled and spin very easily or something, because why else would I be able to do such a thing? Whoa. Oh, I think this is gonna be a wall. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna turn this off if we're gonna be stuck on here. We need to go to the top. I just think the puzzles are really interesting and well done in this game. Even though this is my second time playing it, I never found like I struggled with the puzzles. They were all pretty intuitive, and I think that's the sign of a good puzzle game. There was one at the end that I got a little stuck on, but it was more of a timing thing than a puzzle. Here we go. Eventually I will go back to play Cyberpunk, but that's one of those games that I would rather play on PC. And I do not... Well, actually, I think my PC currently can run it. At least it could in the beginning just fine. But I can't stream it and run it, so... Eventually. There's so many big games that I want to stream, like Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, Cyberpunk. Oh, you know, that Avatar looks good enough that I would play it, maybe. Although I kind of dislike Ubisoft. So I don't know, I'll think about that one. Those are all really big games that I would prefer to play on PC. Let me out, let me out. Okay. Turn the sucker on. And away we go. It looks hard? Like difficult? Really? Wild. It's weird. I don't really care about like I think Avatar, like I like watching the movies because they're just beautiful. And I too am an environmentalist like Mr. Cameron. But the weird like Dances with Wolves of it, I'm not as with. I'm like indifferent, but there are parts of Avatar that I really, really like. I'm like half on the fence, half off the fence. And so the reason I want to play the game is it does look really, really pretty. It looks very pretty. What are we doing with this? Oh, we're replacing our wheels. It kind of reminds me, the gameplay kind of reminds me of like Horizon. Okay, so we lift it up. We lifted up the vehicle. Let me in. Okay, or not. And now we need to take off the bad wheels. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel about it. CS is, I think, visually amazing, and I love watching them for that reason. But it is very, like, surface level. That's the best way of putting it, for sure. Okay, now we need to bring this up and grab the new wheels. I read a review that said the story was just kind of eh. And there wasn't a whole lot of depth to it. But I think I'm actually okay for something like that. Yeah, it really is. But boy do I like watching them. For the visual feast only. Alright. Now do we lower it or is it going to do that for me? It's doing that for me? Cool, cool, cool. Beam me down, Scotty. We got new wheels. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do is, you know, I'm gonna upgrade my GPU and my CPU, and then I'm gonna play these monster games. These monster huge games. Ooh, key. Away we go. Yeah, what is ray trace audio? What does that mean? The audio has light beams? What does that mean? Keep going, keep going. Oh, we're getting more music. Love it, love it. These trees are giving Mad Max Fury Road vibes. In that like desolate area where there were just like bones of trees left over. That's what it reminds me of. Do we have any wind yet? No. Okay, this is highly flammable. We got a ball and a light. Whoa. Bonk. Okay, put the brakes on. Sometimes I like to go full speed into a wall. Excuse me, pardon me. There we go. Okay, you go in there. What are we doing? We're stuck here. Excuse me. We should probably turn this off for now. It's so dark. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. Oh no, I just need to sail. We just have to deploy the sails. Deborah! Do you think that's our protagonist's name? Deborah and Bessie. And we can just stand out here because the engine isn't going. Oh, it's so cool. I think it's so cool. It's so simple. You know, it's just a side-scrolling puzzle game, but I think it gets so much right. I think it's a gem of a little game. And I'm hoping we'll be able to finish it by the end of stream tomorrow. I'm gonna stream for at least another 45 minutes. We got an ad starting here soon. And I remember where the halfway point was from last time. So we'll see. Or not tomorrow, I'm sorry. It's Thursday. My brain blocks out Wednesdays. I'm gonna use one of these, but it's gonna make everything explode. Look at us go! We're so fast. Good soup. Illegal! I am hoping, here's a real spoiler scoop surprise for the future of the stream, is I'm planning on, after I move and I get established in my new place, is going Monday through Thursday. 4 stream per week. And I'm gonna try and start like an hour, oh, I'm out of stuff. Like an hour earlier too. Oh, hang on. The sucker's gotta be on at all times. No exception. Okay. Here do we go? But, you know, we're still at least 6 months out probably from that move. Bonk! Good lord, that made a ruckus. Yeah, let's use use that. And let's put... What's a toy boat? I'm keeping that. Excuse me? Pardon me? So much garbage in my room up there. I did a good job of like hanging on to resources the last time I played this, but this is getting ridiculous. I don't know where I'm really supposed to go. I think I gotta hop over that barrier. No, keep that up. Keep that up. No. Okay, who put the brakes on? Jesus. Did I not make it? Oh no, I did. Good. Was that what I was supposed to do? Oh, good night. Oh, there's an ad starting. Okay, well, I'm just gonna stand here then. In the middle of whatever this sand is. It looks kind of like tar. I don't know. The ad is gonna run. I'll be right back. He didn't clap? Was it doctored? I can totally see Todd being so proud that he wouldn't, because he'd be like, I was supposed to be Starfield, but Starfield was supposed to be the one that won that one. But still, that would be wild. What? Am I supposed to... Maybe we're gonna pull it? Let's see. And why not be happy for Larian? You know? It was a massive achievement. Maybe he's just sick of people, like, comparing his games to theirs. Unfortunately, though, many of my favorite games, such as Horizon, your Skyrim, your Fallouts, their style has become outdated. When such things as Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring exist, it's time to innovate. It's time to change the recipe. I don't think Todd likes to do that. I think he likes his recipe just the way it is. I don't know if this is the solution, but this is what I'm going to continue trying to do here. Actually, I bet you... I don't see anything that I'm supposed to hook onto, so... It looks like it's slowly collapsing. No? Maybe not then? Oh, no, there we go. Okay, let's see, what are we doing? We gotta turn the sucker on. First priority. Excuse me, pardon me. I think that's probably why Avatar just got mad reviews too, because it does seem to be using the old formula of open world games. And people have decided we're over it. Time to innovate, it's time to inspire and... What? Oh, I ran out of stuff. Oh. Oh, we got hail. Uh-oh. Oh, really strong hail, Jesus. Okay. I remember this. Hang on, I gotta fix everything. We're just gonna sit here and get bombarded. I gotta fix this first though. Why is it taking so long? There we go. Come on. Get us out of here. Oh, jeez Louise. Oh, we're gonna be sheltered here soon. Goodness gracious, this weather. Well, I lied. Okay, one more fire to put out. Can I, like, go under? No. Okay, let's fix the engine first. And then the shales. There we go. Where's the 69% though? My question is there romance in this Avatar game? And does it conclude in touching ponytails? That's what I want to know. Well, we gotta turn the sucker on. Hurry, hurry, hurry! Here we go! I'm just gonna leave the the sails to be on fire, because we gotta get out of this mess. Oh, and now that's borked too. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's fix the engine then. Can't go anywhere if the engine's borked. Oh, bonk. Okay. This is on fire. Number one, this is on fire. If that's DLC. That's in the not rated version. Okay, now I need this. Hello? Is it working? There we go. Any day now. I'm gonna turn off the sucker because we're not moving now. But yeah, until I can play those 4 big games, Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, Cyberpunk, and Avatar, coming to a stream near you. I'm gonna stick to Souls-like. Souls-like. Cause boy, have I got a list of them. Just a big old list. What are we doing here? What was that? I don't remember how to do this puzzle. Can we push back this way? Stop. Stop, stop. Please stop. It got updates? Oh, maybe for their mod support. They were talking about adding mod support to Starfield. So maybe they updated their mod support thing for Scrim. That's what I figured. It was a mod thing. Hey, Hey, I was pretty proud of my 15 games on PlayStation 5 this year. I thought that was pretty decent for me, seeing as I stick to like really long games most of the time. I think I gotta move this. Or do I have to move this? Or, you know what? I bet you. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna push it. No, I need you to go. Damn it. And that was with my PlayStation 5 being like my console of choice this year. Well, maybe it didn't have to fall in this. I guess it didn't. Okay. Away we go. Shoot, do I need the thing after all? No, I don't. There you go. I think I probably need this. There was a handful of games that I played on Breath of the Wild, yes, on my Switch. One being Tears of the Kingdom, and then I played a little Dead Cells recently. And that Witch-tastic game a little bit too. But mostly my PS5 was what I played video games on. And you guys saw most of it. All of the Spooner bands. Yeah, they released those colors, but I kind of like the clean white. And actually, I've been looking at getting plates. PS5 plates that are black. I kind of want to change all of my consoles to being entirely black. It's so funny, like, as a kid, I was all about the RGB and the fun colors, and initially I wanted my PC build to look like a stormtrooper and have all these RGB colors now, and now I'm like, I just want everything to look clean and black. Oh, we gotta turn on the sucker. We gotta turn on the sucker. Now I want everything to look like cohesive, which means black everything. Damn it, I missed that one piece. Oh, right into a wall. Are we going up? Oh, we are moving. Okay. Okay. My top 3 were Tears of the Kingdom, Reg, and Cocoon. And even Lords of the Fallen, even though I didn't finish it and I was so severely disappointed in it. Like a disappointed parent. It was my most played game, well, on my PS5 of the year, was Lords of the Fallen. Here we go. Oh, keep going. Do I have any wind here? No, I don't. No, I don't. Silver territory. Oh, I did notice that on the PS5 thing or whatever, that it said that I had made progress towards silver trophy. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize there was an overall trophy to obtain. Mine was, the Thrill Seeker. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I think you were, it showed me too, it was like, you made one friend this year, and I was like, I bet you that was like, Oh, shit. I didn't know that there were trophies. What's gonna be sad is when, or I think they already did, Microsoft already launched their end of the year recap or whatever. And that was my most played console for the longest time, was my Xbox 360. But I gave it away to someone who probably didn't deserve it, and I gave them my Game of the Year edition of Fallout and my Game of the Year edition of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas because they were really getting into video games. And they didn't like any of them, and I think they ended up selling it. So that was a waste. And I haven't owned an Xbox since the 360. I played an ungodly amount of Black Ops and Minecraft on that Xbox too. So I don't really have like a Microsoft update unless I played some game through Games for Windows, which I might have this year. Maybe Minecraft. It was probably Minecraft. Oh, my sucker's not on. God damn it. Okay. Is it staying on? It's staying on. You can fight them for me, sure. I don't talk to them anymore, so... I mean... it's probably better that way. Whoa! What is this, Yellowstone? Oh my gosh, this area is so pretty. Look at how pretty this area is. That background, it's like watercolors. I love it. I love it. What's wild too is I think they sold it and started getting rid of like the games that I had given to them when we were still friends and still talking. The ultimate betrayal. I'm gonna have to start sacrificing some of my junk that I've been hanging on to. Give me the game. Oh, it's snowing now. Do we get rid of the bell first? Oop. Oh, there's something. I'm gonna get rid of the bell. And whatever this is, I guess. Yeah, I see a lot of people playing that Lego Fortnite and having a good time. It's generally getting pretty good reception, which is, I mean, not wild, I guess. One could expect that from those two franchises. I'm tempted to try it myself, but Amy also wants to play Lethal Company. So I may be giving that a go soon. I think we're about to hit another wall. That's what I hear. It's actually good. And there's the wall. Everything's burning now. Uh-oh. Oh, Lethal Company? I might stream it. Usually when I play games with her, I don't stream it. But if she's down, I might. I imagine we would probably play with either Allison and Katie and Steph. That group. Alright, turn the sucker off. Repair the lift. Here we go. Okay, we've arrived. Somewhere? Somewheres. I bet you I have to put down the sails. I honestly, don't tell me. Because I kind of want to experience it when we play it. But, I honestly don't quite understand the game still. I've watched Julian play it a number of times. And all I'm getting so far is that you collect items and you bring them back to sell them and you try not to get eaten by monsters. And maybe that's all it is. Don't tell me, though. What am I missing here? I've definitely been here before. Old Game Pass. See, I can't get through there. I thought I could. My hands are sweaty. Once again, this room is 85 degrees when the rest of the house is 70. Ugh. I gotta go open the window a little bit more. Hang on. 47 games? Jesus. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And don't get me wrong, I like the heat. I just don't like it when it makes my hands sweaty and I can't hold the controller properly. I sat down and I watched this like clump of Shasta hair floating in the air zoom to my nose like it was magnetic. I'm not convinced that she doesn't like put little curses on all of the hairs that she loses so that they go straight to my nose. She's asleep. So she can pretend that she's innocent. Ew. Okay, maybe I still need to push this thing? Maybe? Yeah, I thought the Twitch one was interesting because for Lords of the Fallen, Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, we do have to push it. Okay. And like Horizon, all of the games that, my top games that I played this year. Oh, there we go. Okay, put the brakes on. I was in the top 10% of the streamers who stream those games, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know what that means, but I was like, surely I'm not in the top 10% for Tears of the Kingdom. Where's that item? There it is. That's wild. One of the biggest releases of the year. I don't believe it. I think Twitch is making shit up. Okay, we've arrived here. And now I believe I need to go this way. Oh my god, this cat hair on my nose. Is it just because there are a zillion people? I don't know what that even means. Does it mean like viewer-wise or the amount of time that I streamed that game? What does it mean? Oh, I know what I gotta do. Hang on, hang on. It's viewers? Really? Goodness, does that just mean there's just a plethora of people streaming to like one person on Twitch? God damn it. I think that's what I gotta do. Hang on. I would assume... You know what? I'm gonna pull it backwards. I think I can do that. That's wild. Huh. How? Okay. There we go. So is it just working now? Can I leave? There we go. Okay, press the button. I like that everything here is button based. You just press the button to make progress. And now we get to connect this. Huh. Wild. Okay, so now we're gonna press this button. Whoa. And up we go. Number 1, turn the sucker on. Number 2, move. We've got a good amount of fuel. I think we're in good shape. Jesus Christ! I like that, yeah, when it gave me my whole thing as a streamer, my, like, recap as a streamer, it was like, these were the loudest people to watch you, and you and Rune were on there, and Jader. And I was like, did you have to call them loud? That seems kind of rude. Seems kind of antagonistic. Okay, put that on, and we're gonna put the sails up. It said the Karis was loud too, but he usually like drops all the subs and then lurks. So I was like, what is your criteria for being loud, Twitch? What does that mean to be loud? Oh, bonk. I think we're past the halfway mark. I don't remember. Yeah, and what's weird is that you weren't on that list, Nathan. That's why I wonder what their criteria for being, you know, loud, quote unquote, is. Because if it's most active in chat, like, I think you talk more than Karis. Like I said, Karis usually lurks. I don't know. Same with that Uncle Leroy person. I think that person usually lurks too. I wonder if it's watch hours. I feel like it might be watch hours. Or, oh, any activity of any sort. I guess dropping subs would maybe account for a very loud activity, especially with how many he drops. I don't know. I don't know. What? Oh! There's a little paddle here. Okay. Oh, this is cute. Where are we now? You know, actually, I think we're far past the halfway point. Now that I think about it. I think I'll definitely be able to finish it tomorrow. Which is the plan. Whoop. I'm probably faster too now that this is my second time playing the game. I don't know why I'm doing this when I could just turn the, I could just use my engine. I've got plenty of garbage. Whoop. Okay. Here we are. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, friend. Okay, number one. Number one, turn on the sucker. Always priority number one. Number two, turn on the engine. Number three, keep an eye on energy. All right, now we're cooking. I wonder what the sequel to this is like. I don't know how they would improve upon the formula. It's pretty chill. It's pretty good. Everything works pretty well. Bonk. Oh, this is... We're like near... We're not near the end, but we're kind of close. We're within 2 hours of the end. Actually, I gotta turn off the sucker. I remember this very distinctly. This is the cool part. Oop. Up we go. You thought our Bessie was big. Turns out we're just a baby. Okay. And then I think I gotta yoink it back here. If we get to this one part, I may just finish the whole ding dang game tonight. If we get to where I know is near the end. Oh yeah, the sound design in this game is also very, very good. Very satisfying. Is there anything up here? No, I just gotta push the button. Have I gone the wrong way? I've gone the wrong way. Where did you want me to go? Oh, up here. That's right. So I assume this Jan Henriksen person is the founder of our vehicle and the big vehicle that we are inside as well. I like that it shows kind of a history of it. Hello? Can I not jump high enough with this? Oh. So many buttons. Right. I thought this part was so cool when I first played it. Like, holy shit. Do I want this? I don't remember where we go after this, so I'm just gonna go back over here. Isn't this cool? I love like big cinematic moments like this in games. I love them. And then we find out it needs juice too. And I think we go this way, yeah. Everything needs juice. Whee. Let me see if I remember how to do this puzzle correctly. Those are some of the best video games ever. You gotta play the Dishonored. What do I have to do here? I do not remember. Oh, actually, I do remember. Right. I'm excited about the Blade game, too. Damn it. I know that's what I gotta do. Can I pull it any further? I don't think I can pull it any further. Was this... I cannot remember if this was what I was supposed to do. I pulled it as far forward as possible. I think this is what I was supposed to do. Oh, it's too toasty in here. Hang on. Okay. If you hear noise in the background, it is, oh, you know what I might be able to do? It is my fan. Please ignore it. Hello? Because that has to be close enough. Surely that's doing the trick, right? Gone down a little bit. Sick. And then we press the button. Okay. What do you want me to do? Oh. Oh no, there's something else it needs too. It needs fuel. We have to put energy in there, but it doesn't take normal energy? I don't remember. Hang on. Why can't I remember how to do this one? You would think after playing the video game 2 times that my brain would retain something of use. But no. Oh, that's right. You can break through here. I'm just gonna let this. There we go. There we go. Bonk. Then we go up here, I believe. Or no. Now we can put out the other one. Better. And yes, that's the fuel that this thing takes. It doesn't take regular stuff. I don't remember if I have to put it in the first one or the second one. Nobody knows. It's the first one. And then we go up top. Bye-bye! Then we need a second thing of fuel. Well, I know we need a second thing of fuel though. Game. So don't get too excited. We're moving again! There's a chair up there. Hang on, I want all that. Oh. Oop, and I missed it. That's okay. Whee! Okay, so now we need to get this. To the top. I don't think I can yoink the thing down this far. Maybe I can? Can I push this? I can. Okay. So heavy. Let me out. Maybe it will reach all this way. I think it does. I was surprised the first time around. Whee! Okay. Such a good little vessel. Okay. Why am I going up here? Oh yeah, to press the button. It's always to press the button. That'll get us moving again. No, it isn't. Shut up. It seems like these DualSense batteries do not last nearly as long as their PlayStation 4 counterparts. They run out so fast. Okay. Okay, number 1, turn on the sucker. And, or maybe not. Maybe I can just carry that stuff on. I don't know. Oh shit! Are we okay? Thought everything was gonna explode there for a second. I want to save this for later. Let's use this one next. Let's also turn off this. Okay. Where are we going next? Where are we going next? There's nothing over here. And now I'm trapped. No, I'm not. Hello? Take it? Take the box? Please take the box. Or we can just push it. That's fine too. Is it a button? It's probably a button, isn't it? Yep. When is it not a button? Okay. Away we go. I'm gonna save this as well. Because I know what happens at the end, and I know it's better to have a lot of fuel. Bonk. Is there any way I can like zoom out? Nope. I think that concludes our journey with the big robot. Eventually, we get off the bus. Right here! Woo. Jesus. It would have been cool if it zoomed out even more. I hope there are more big moments like that in the next one. Alright, rule number 1, turn the sucker on. And off we go. Oh, we are. If this is the mountain that I think it is, we are near the... We're gonna finish the video game tonight. Yep, alright, well, I guess we're finishing the game tonight. Okay. God damn it, there's gonna be an ad in like 15 minutes. Okay. We gotta keep moving though. We have to keep moving very quickly. This one took me a couple of tries. Go, 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 go! I might not have made it this time. In fact, I don't think I did. I don't know that I did. Keep going, keep going! It just resets you a little bit of the ways. If you don't make it. I don't know if we're going to make it. Is that a negative Ghost Rider? No, I don't think we made it. Damn it. Okay, so we just have to start over. Get off the roof! Get off the roof! It's okay. It just starts us over. Back a little ways. God damn it, Twitch. What if I... Okay, what if I... Am I safe right here? I think I'm safe right here. Me sleeping in my bed with a toy boat and books and a flower pot and... I'm safe right here. So I'm actually going to run the ad to get it out of the way so we don't miss the end of the game. Who knew? I didn't think I was going to be able to finish it in one night, but damn, okay. Alright, I'll be right back, and then we get the end of the game. Okay? Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, no more of that. No more advertisements. No more. Okay. So I have to be pretty dang quick about this whole shebang. I think if I let the steam build up, then it gives me a better boost. So I'm gonna let it build up. Like as much as, okay, we're pretty far forward. I think we're gonna be okay this time around. It is a volcano. Oh god, it's catching up. It's catching up. It's okay, we got good speed. We got good... Shit, we don't have good fuel. There we go. Oh, shit. Okay, that's where... That was the save point. That's where we were supposed to get to. to pull it? I think yes. Well, that took me 2 tries instead of... It took me like 5 tries the first time around. We lost half of our ship, our poor ship! The first time I played this was honestly like a little bit heartbreaking. It was like our ship had gotten us through so much. So far. And now it is no more. Oh, I think there was also a different way to do this. Hang on. If I just like stand in front of or on the top. Or maybe it was that I just had to pull it. I don't remember. Oh, no. I just have to put the sails out. That's right. Nope. No. Okay. Our poor ship. Poor Bessie. A motorcycle. It's like the ship is your constant companion through the entire video game. And so when you lose it, when you know its journey has come to an end, it's so heartbreaking. What a beautiful game. Bonk. And that's it. Goodbye, Bessie. Thank you for all that you did. Oh. I don't know. I think there's an achievement. Oh, I can't get back in. Never mind. I took the mailbox all the way through the game though, and I think there's an achievement for it. The beacons are lit. It's just so pretty. I assume that's like a beacon call for help. So what I'm assuming is the conclusion is that, you know, she lights this and someone comes and picks her up. And she goes to where humanity is still surviving or whatever. That is my assumption. I don't know, maybe we'll find out in the next one though. I don't think I can beat the next one in one night, so I think I will still save it for after Lies of P. It's called Changing Tides. Because, you know, I haven't played it before, so I doubt I can beat it in one night. But we'll save it and we'll start Lies of P tomorrow. Just a beautiful video game. Good shit. Hey, that'll do it. I didn't intend to go this late, but I also felt like we were pretty close to the end, so, you know, I wasn't gonna just stream for 45 minutes tomorrow. We'll let the credits roll, too. Did I get the mailbox one? I did. Yes, I did. I got it. I think I might have gotten all of the trophies. We'll have to look. Dawn, that's a good game, Dawn. And Goran. Are these Scandinavian names? Jugendhobler. I would assume it would tell me if I got the plat, right? Maybe I have to replay it in order to do that. I played it the first time on PC. Flüeler and Müller and Schloop. It's gotta be some sort of Scandinavian team. Oh, you know what there is? There's one that for miles that you get, because on the front of the ship it did show like a distance ticker, and I think there was an achievement for getting over a certain distance, and you can only get that by like sliding backwards a little bit, which I didn't do at all in this one, so that's probably what it is. Look at all these testers. I don't know anything about game development, but is this many testers necessary for this small of a game? Right? If this game came out this year, it would be in my top 5. I think it came out in 2017 or 2018 though. Oh my god, and now we get our special thanks section? Good lord. Shout if you recognize anyone. Oh, Dagmar, he's my guy. He's my dude. We go way back. Like elementary school. Two Florians. Same as Grozdania Matic. We go way back too. I don't know what the umlaut, what that means. What that designates. I feel every time I see it, it just makes me want to put extra weight on it, like Hansley or Müller. You have to put your whole... What's the thing at the back of your throat? Your whole uvulasi into it. I'm sorry. Niederlander? They're such fun names. Well... the old uvulasi. Yannick is a great name too. Hungerbuehler. Pretty music, pretty art. Oh, and I think, yeah, the Okomotive is that's what it's called. It has a name. Their whole development studio is based off of the vehicle in this game, which is called an Okomotive. And that's what the logo is, too. I knew it had a name. Oh boy, what do you mean? Everyone just automatically blames him. Thank you for making far loan sales.